On behalf of Concordia and our MBA class, EJ, we would like to present you our business plan. It's been an enjoyable time working with you over the past 8 weeks. Honestly, in my 3 years here, you've been the most passionate about your business and your organization, and I hope that we're able to provide you with a product that you will find useful. All right, so starting off, I'll give you a breakdown of our presentation and also the business plan that you will be receiving. So first, we'll go into the business plan layout. What you'll see is that it's broken down into multiple sections where we have the executive summary, operations, marketing, technology, and finance. What we'll have is information about each section and then also a breakdown of recommendations after that. And then we'll follow the same cadence in our presentation today. Then lastly, after all of the recommendations are given, we'll finish off with our strategic plan. Okay, so first we'll jump into the executive summary. In this section, first wanted to talk about the mission and vision statement. One of the good things about your company is that you had a mission statement, but it was pretty long. However, it did cover everything as far as a mission and vision. So all we had to do was break down your first presentation of a mission and then split it up and make it resemble more of a one-liner or a quick sentence that's easy for people to remember and then you to remember as an owner as well. So first we'll go into the mission statement. It's to provide a physical and spiritual experience through quality skincare. The main focus is to keep it short. Allow people to understand your focus is not just the touch and the feel, but then also the spiritual aspect that you want to bring to this company. Next, we'll go into the vision statement. It's at Rejuvenate Aesthetic Skin Studio. We strive for superior skincare where customers can escape for a soothing environment. The big thing that we talked about as far as meeting you the first time is that you wanted your spa to be a destination. With that being said, we tried to incorporate that without specifically speaking to it. So in your vision statement, it's still focused on quality skincare, but at the same time, it talks about the environment that you want to bring to make your business a destination. Lastly, we'll go into the core values. We decided on 5 core values. It's very important to have a list of no more than 5 when it comes into core values, so it's easily to be rememberable, but then also speaks to what you want to do as a business. So our 5 core values that we set for you was to provide superior customer experience. First and foremost, you got to have customers happy for them to be returning clients so you can continue to make revenue. Secondly, investment in quality products. You're turning into a new time with your business as far as do you want to make your own products? Do you want to buy products? So we want to make sure that you focus on quality products and not just the cheapest, but what's best for your clients. Thirdly, we want to educate the importance of skincare. This is something that as a group we all know that you'll be able to take care of based off of your experience. So just the focus is to remember to educate those clients, but I know you'll do a great job of that. Fourth is to pursue avenues for trusted technology. So this is probably one of the weakest areas within the business as far as using technology. So we wanted to put this in the forefront so you can remember to look for different ways to help with tracking information, but yet also reaching out to clients, which we'll get more into later in the presentation. And then lastly, commitment to personal growth. The big thing that we noticed as far as finances, you would like to have someone help you out with that. However, it's important for you to know the details of your business. And then secondly is stepping out to be that salesperson for your business. So the continuous of personal growth is just continuing to look for ways to make yourself better.
Operations is the day-to-day activities of a business, what you do from giving facials to how you run your business. So we're going to talk about the layout, some of the products in retail, the services. We have a little bit of information on becoming an LLC versus a sole proprietorship, insurance, grants, and then finally a customer satisfaction survey. So when it comes to the layout, we thought your place was beautiful even though it was very small, but some suggested that maybe it could be a little bit more streamlined. It's a little bit full of stuff, and if you're going to get product in there, you're going to need to reposition some things so that your product is well displayed and accessible for people. We thought the position of your sauna might be a little awkward in that if someone's sitting in it and someone walks in the front door, that could be uncomfortable, but we don't really know where else you might put it at this point. You could also consider moving some things around in your treatment room to get a second facial bed if that was something you wanted to consider for your group packages. Second, let's talk about your products. We know you use young pharmaceuticals right now, and that can only be purchased through a doctor, so you're looking for another product. And you recently shared with us that you found AMP medical products, and this can be personally branded. So if that's the way you wanted to go, we would encourage you to go ahead and get started on that. There is, however, a place in Lincoln called Salon Centric that sells to estheticians and cosmetologists that you can look at. You can actually go to their store with your esthetician's license and see what else they have to offer that might be affordable for you. When it comes to which you make your oils and salts that you and your daughter make, the FDA says you can make and sell it as long as there's no color additives or any sort of dangerous additions to it. You can make it, you can sell it, you just need to make sure you have a very thorough label for it. So the services are primarily your facials, your signature Power Peel facial for $80, your diamond facial for $125, your acne facial for $60, and your quick pick-me-up for $40. And then you've added some a la carte things, which we think makes a lot of sense. You offered for $5 an upgrade fee to use the sauna. We think it's great to offer an additional fee to use the sauna, but we would really suggest you charge more than $5 because that takes a long time to get a return on your investment. The Martha foot bath is included, and we think that's fine. And then you've added the a la carte eye treatment for $10, the neck treatment for $10, and to charge for the meat and cheese tray, which we think is actually a really smart thing because otherwise that's just coming right out of your pocket. So what is an LLC? So an LLC means a limited liability corporation, and that's something that's a little bit different than a sole proprietorship in that it does what it says. It protects you from liability should anything go wrong. So you might consider doing this. It can cost about $1,000 to establish this. You would probably need to work with a business attorney. But if something goes terribly wrong and you're a sole proprietor, you could lose your home, your car. People could come after your own possessions. You could also think about the tax benefits of an LLC. There are certain things you can write off. Even your mileage and your meals when you travel to and from North Platte could actually be taken care of, as well as your health insurance premiums. Speaking of insurance, we think that small business insurance is probably the way to go. You currently have renter's insurance, but we thought about esthetician's insurance, which would cover you in case something happened with someone's face. For $259 a year, you can join the Associated Skincare Professionals and have liability coverage. For $159 and up a year, you can join the National Association of Complementary and Alternative Medicine. That's something we would recommend you consider, but I think the smarter choice is probably to go with small business insurance, which you can get from any major carrier nationwide, Geico, Allstate, State Farm. And this usually covers liability as well as property insurance, as well as anything else you wanted to customize it for. So that's probably a pretty smart way to go. Now, when it comes to money, we're thinking about grants. Generally, there are not grants available for for-profit businesses. Small businesses sometimes are given grants if they're doing things innovatively with technology or environmental stewardship. But we did find an organization, the National Association for the Self-Employed, and they do offer grants. So if you become a member, you can apply for up to $4,000, and you could have a grant writer work on this for you, so that's something you might really want to consider. And finally, the customer service satisfaction survey is something we would recommend you send out to probably every client that comes in for the first time. And some questions we would suggest on a scale of 1 to 5 are, overall, how would you rate your experience today? How would you rate your ease of scheduling? How would you rate the atmosphere? How would you rate your results? How would you rate the customer service? How likely are you to return? And how likely are you to recommend Rejuvenate to a friend? So we think with all of these things put together, you'll run your operations very smoothly, and that will lead us next into marketing.
Broadly speaking, the practice of marketing includes identifying a consumer segment and then matching that segment with products and services, kind of via reliable price rate and then promoting it to them in a way that's going to motivate action. That's what we're going to discuss in this next part of the plan.
So what we focused on, the primary focus for marketing is going to be growing your customer base. And so the first thing to do is try to define what your target market is. We probably can agree that the average customer for facials is females between 25 and 55. But as you're well aware, every customer has different needs, so it's very difficult to try and craft a message that hits on every single individual. So what we recommend doing is looking at different groups and creating your messaging around those groups. Those groups will be broken down between your existing customers, customers that are referred by those existing customers, clients that are new to Seward that have moved in, as well as college students. And then within these groups, it's important that you cater your message, whether you're using traditional or digital marketing, to each of those groups or those generations based on what their needs and what their interests are. We broke down Rejuvenate into a brand, product, and service. Brand is going to be huge, really because we want to create brand awareness within Seward so that when people see Rejuvenate or they see your logo, they know what you're about and what your service is. One of the ideas that we have that we recommend is this idea of creating brand ambassadors. It's a really easy thing to do. It's really cost effective. You could simply do something like creating t-shirts with your brand on it, giving them out to top clients, or you could even give them out as holiday gifts. But it's great for you because it's a low-cost product, and it's great because as they're wearing them out in the community, especially if you're giving them to people who are visible in the community, it really gets your name out there. As far as services, the big thing that you want to focus on is setting apart your what's your differentiation from your competitors. What we've noticed that sets you apart is your use of medical grade products. So really make sure that that's tied into your messaging so that people understand when they come to Rejuvenate, they're getting a quality facial every single time.
Additionally, you want to try to establish, project an image of the skincare that you provide as being an essential part of regular skin health, rather than an unnecessary indulgence. That coupled with your medical level of experience is going to help set you apart from your competition in the area.
And then from a promotion side of it, we've talked about this idea of creating a product line. We definitely have the ability with some of the new skincare products that you're adding to be able to resell that to customers. Also with the addition of your foot scrub and your Martha foot bath, there is the ability to create that into its own product. We can look at specialty stores like From Nebraska in Lincoln that sells just Nebraska-based products. We could be looking at stores like Gloria Deo that have a Christian theme to it. Different ways, as well as once we get the website up and running, you have an online way to create and sell these products. So from marketing, there is a wide variety of different things that you can use. This multimedia aspect, multimedia approach. The first one would be breaking down into digital. The first thing we recommend looking into is email marketing, and we recommend a company called MailChimp. You've already got it set up, so you have the process there. What's great about MailChimp is you're able to create a wide variety of templates, create different distribution lists, so each of those groups that we talked about can have their own distribution list that you can easily send messages to, and you can really track their open rates, their click rates, and see how involved they are with your emails. One statistic that we found is that email is 40% more effective at acquiring new customers than other forms of marketing. So really good way to get out in front of others, and because it's a free service, it's very low cost.
In terms of low cost marketing channels, social media is one thing that you're already working on. Facebook is a great way to engage your existing customers as well as reach out to new customers. We want to encourage you to continue the work that you're doing with Facebook with the intention of maximizing interactions. The more people you have engaging with you, the more other people that are friends with them are more likely to see that and get led to your page, ultimately to the website, which needs to be the landing page for everything that you do online. In addition to that, we want to encourage you to use targeted Facebook ads, which have a phenomenal ability to reach very specific markets. So with college students, make sure you're tailoring your ads for the specific market that you're trying to reach. With college students, promote the low-cost options, or something like the acne facial, or promote the couples, different couples packages around Valentine's Day or newlyweds, things like that.
Yeah, and you can also create, tie it to the messaging. So if you are targeting the college, you can tie it towards homecoming or back to school. Make sure you look your best on that first day of school. Really tie it into your customers.
And then as you become more comfortable and confident mastering Facebook, we want to encourage you to also look at branching out into other avenues of social media, just to give you more options for attracting people and directing them to the website to drive further sales.
And then also we want to make sure that you are hitting a traditional marketing approach. Often when you think of traditional marketing, you're thinking of radio, television, a lot of those things that can be quite expensive. So we're really looking at low budget, almost grassroots type marketing. Ideas that we had would be just simply flyers that you could distribute on Concordia's campus. Just easy ways, there's a print shop right next door. If there's a potential partnership there where you can trade services for lower printing costs, some way to kind of help create more marketing opportunities. And we really think that the referral program, which Evan talked about, is going to be your best way at growing the customer base. One statistic showed that 92% of consumers are more likely to buy a product or a service if they're recommended by another person.
Right. Good. So you're already engaged in some level of referral marketing, and you created an incentive program. We do encourage you to reevaluate the financial underpinnings of that incentive plan. We think tweaking the reward system there is going to help you be equally or more effective without giving away too much financially. We'd also suggest that you do more to clarify the plan, so that rather than just having you tell people what the plan is, have it written down and include it in marketing materials, so that it's easy for people to understand what they need to do to receive that reward. Another cost-effective way to promote yourself is strategic partnerships. In the Seward area, we recommend looking at businesses that don't overlap with you, but would have similarly aligned target markets. Some examples of this, we discussed fitness clubs, the athletics department at the university, different local bed and breakfasts or hospitality providers, and potentially the hospital or other chiropractic care type businesses. We recommend trying to create a proposal for them that's mutually beneficial, but allows you to put your promotional material in front of their clients. Technology can be defined as any innovation or improvement that increases efficiency or removes the necessity for manual operation. Now, in a business with only one employee, taking advantage of technology is going to be absolutely necessary, especially because it's going to give you digital options to take care of things that a larger business would typically have assigned to other employees. Doing this all on your own, this is going to be huge in helping you keep and maintain a successful business. 3 topics of focus that we've identified in the sphere of technology. We're going to be building a credible web presence, modernizing your payment options, and automating the collection of data.
So I'm going to first talk about building an internet presence. So the first thing that we actually have already worked through it is building an active website. Essentially, it's going to be a mobile-friendly website as well. So why do we need this website? It's because it's very useful in future to help you create your own credibility, and it's 24 hours, 7 online, so people can access to it all the time. Actually, so like people doesn't have anything to do 3 a.m. and then think about they want a facial, so they can just contact and send an email through you, set up an appointment with you, and then that is very, very helpful for your business as well. And I also create a template for you so you can actually work through it as well. I think saving as much money as what Eric said, and using like more traditional marketing, use as low budget as possible to create more web presence is very important as your stage of your business right now. So I think you should save as much money as you can to go forward to build this website. And I just think that to build up your Facebook as well, you should save as much time as well, but not essential. What I mean is that you should put 5 to 10 hours a week to build on your Facebook and to be actually interacting with people and build up your Facebook by throwing back pictures of your clients like before and after, putting up videos that shows DIY tips, but most importantly you can put up flash sales like or things like that will help your business in the long run. But most importantly, what we want to remind you is that put up 80% content to help to benefit the public, and do 20% to be promotional to your business. Building up YouTube is optional, but I think it's very important to be a next step of your building web presence. I think YouTube is a very huge platform nowadays. Like people younger, like 18 to 25, would actually spend a lot of time going through YouTube and searching what they want to look for. And actually, YouTube replaced TV nowadays for the younger generation. I think to build long-term success internet presence, you have to go into YouTube. You also worked on Yelp. I just think it's a very good move, and I strongly recommend that you continue to move to put on more photos and link your website with this, that actually use the data that and reviews from it to actually work on and collaborate with other businesses as well, going through Yelp. In the future, Patreon is a huge place that actually for your business to dive into and actually have a lot of long-term goals for you to hit on. First of all, it's actually built up a very huge stable cash flow for you if you do Patreon by throwing up subscriptions packages, so people actually pay you consistently monthly, and I just think it's a very consistent income for you in the future. And I also build up a daily checklist for you, so you can actually go through each and every day to check day and night before you start your business and close up, and actually go through everything that you need and to build up a strong foundation for your business. Talking about modernizing payments is also very important. Like nowadays, I found out not a lot of people use cash anymore actually. So credit cards is a huge thing that you can work on. So we actually further up recommending Square or using Wix, but ultimately Square is more on the operation side, that you can track your transactions, work through your appointments, and actually take payments with the modern way, and build up your internet. Your website is also huge as well, so that you can actually set up an online storefront for people to go in there and buy your products.
Yeah, in addition to that, on modernizing payments, it's easy to make the assumption that in a small town like Seward, customers are comfortable paying with cash and will always have cash on hand. This just simply isn't the case anymore. Many of the barriers to small businesses accepting credit card payments are decreasing, especially in the last couple of years, and consumer expectations have increased. insofar as being able to pay with a flexible variety of payment options. Students, especially, as you set your sights on targeting that demographic, are significantly less likely to carry cash. Additionally, consumer habits with credit cards. People are much more likely to spend greater amounts of money when it's not tangible money. It's just a swipe of a card. That's to your benefit. Additionally, as Darren said, in order to do online payments through the store, you're going to need some sort of credit card processing solution. And in addition to the ones that we've mentioned, there are literally thousands of other options out there that we encourage you to explore and try to find one that also offers a wide range of software tools like Square, specifically for businesses like you. Yeah, go ahead. Can we go back one page? So getting into software tools, again, I think it would be great if you could bundle these in with a payments provider. But these are going to give you tools like automated database, which will automatically populate all of the customer's information at the swipe of a card every time they make a transaction. This is helpful for tracking consumer habits, buying patterns, things like that. Also helps you target promotional material to individuals who maybe have stopped coming in as regularly as they used to. So that can be really helpful. It will help, in addition to providing that information, will also automatically generate those emails for you. We'll sync it with birthdays, holidays, and you proofread everything, you send it out directly to the people, say their name on it. It's very personalized. It's a good way to reach new customers and re-engage old customers. Additionally, an appointment scheduler online is going to be really helpful for you in tracking the amount of business that you do. It's also helpful for people who maybe don't want to have to call in and ask, is this time going to work? How about this time? They can just see when you're available and set it up hassle-free. It's also going to be beneficial to you as you start to understand how much work you're actually doing in a week, how much management and marketing you need to do to balance that out so that you make sure you give both sides of your business the attention that they need.
So we already gone through website and credit card processing. So I also recommend that you get a new cameras, high definition ones, so that you can actually take pictures, great pictures for throwbacks, like and also a video recording, which is going back to what I talked about, creating YouTube videos, contents. That would also be very useful and beneficial for your business as well.
All right, in the finance section, we're going to talk a little bit more about some financial recommendations for your business, just ways to help grow the business, make it more financially secure, and make it a lasting business, and separating it from personal accounts as well. The budget, we have several projections in there with your cash flows, your break-even point, different things like that. It's important to realize with each of those we use some assumptions which are in the document. The first one is going to be basically you're going to pay yourself as an employee for each service you perform. For the examples we used you're doing an $80 facial. You'll pay yourself $50 each time you complete one of those facials. We did this basically so you're making yourself into an employee of the business. You're not just taking money out of the business account haphazardly. We assumed that you were going to need a $10,000 loan or raise $10,000 in capital for our cash flow projections and different things like that. We also did the projections out at 40 customers, 60 customers, 80 customers, and 100 customers, along with add-on sales on there as well. So you can see the value in getting those add-on sales from offering your product line. Other key things, the biggest thing is you just have to increase sales. You have to increase your amount of customers, you have to increase your amount of add-on sales. Because right now, you're currently going about 20 to 25 customers a month with no add-on sales. The business is not doing very well. I think you would probably agree with that. The biggest thing is we've got to increase our customer base, we've got to increase our sales, get more people in the door. A couple areas of concern we need to address with the business is Currently, there's no separation between your business and personal account. You need to create a personal, or rather a business either checking or savings account, just to keep the business's finances separate from your own. This will allow for a lot smoother process come tax time as well. You're able to see all your transactions in there. Currently, you don't have any sales tracking program. As technology hit on, that's something that's very important. You need to know what kind of sales you're doing. You know, you're doing your $45 facials, your $80 ones, your premium facials. What are our expenses with those? We just need to be tracking that, tracking our sales. Currently, you can't do credit cards, as the technology guys hit on. We recommend Square for that. We need to start taking credit cards as a form of payment. And then the other area of concern, the referral bonus is currently very high. We need to reduce that. Currently, with the system you have set up, if you were to give 40 facials in a month, you might potentially have to give 10 of those away for free. So reducing the amount of incentive for referrals would be another thing there. So recommendations, we need to raise $10,000 in capital. That'll just give you a solid base to purchase your product line, also to get your marketing off the ground, different things like that. But getting that capital raised so you can be paying yourself as an employee monthly would be very important with the business. Selling a skincare line, obviously we need to get more income coming into the business. Currently, we just get paid when they get a facial. We don't have any add-on sales on that. You know, whether that's through offering additional services, skincare line, whatever, we need to have additional income coming into the business. Right now, just getting paid for a facial is not enough. Separate business account, we already hit on, but just need to get that developed for your business so we can track everything. And then finally, just making sure you're keeping your business finances separate. That's probably the biggest thing with the finance section is you need to keep those separate. You know, whether that be consulting an accountant to help you, or whatever the case may be, but we need to keep those finances separate. As a company, that's very important. You track that separately.
All right, with the strategic plan, and that is part of the business plan located at the end of the document. This document serves as a compass that intentionally guides the actions of the stakeholders of the business. And with the strategic plan, what we did was take an assessment of where you're at currently, and then we looked at the goals, both short-term, mid-range, and long-term goals, and find out where we want to be in, say, 2 months, 3 years, 5 years down the road. And then what we do is we take objectives to get us from where we are now to where we want to be. And the strategic plan is full of objectives that will help you grow your business and attract customers. I used the word intentionally back when I was talking about the strategic plan. And there's 2 ways that you can address business. Number one is what I like to call stuffing things. I can do stuff and I can do things. I did this past weekend with my wife's business. I went down there intentionally looking to work on our live business, our live sales, and I spent about 2 hours online watching other people. I'm not sure I got a lot done in that 2 hours. And then there's active and intentional, and that's what the strategic plan is trying to incorporate in the businesses. Intentionally working on those objectives and goals, giving you a timeline to enact those goals and objectives. And with this business, I would like to see you treat it as a startup, because really it is. It's a pretty young business. And I would like to see you use your time wisely. And it's up to you ultimately to decide what that is. Is that 30 hours a week I want to be working? Is it 40 hours a week? Is it 50 hours a week? So that's ultimately up to you. But with the strategic plan, it gives you plenty of ammunition to make it what you would like. There are, like I said, quite a few ideas in the strategic plan and in the business plan as well. So don't just use the strategic plan. Definitely look through that business plan. And all those different areas, the finance, the marketing, technology, operations. With the strategic plan, I broke it out into 3 phases. Number 1 is short-term goals. And these are the things that we can get working on right away to grow that customer base and expand our services. Then we looked at the mid-range, and that's the through 3 years plan. And then the long-term goals, that 5 years down the road. Where do I want to be 5 years down the road? So with that, let's take a look at the strategic plan. And with these goals and objectives, we want them to be SMART goals. We want them to be specific, measurable, attainable, and relevant, and time-bound. That's the acronym SMART. And with time-bound, in the strategic plan, I gave you a begin date and an end date for every one of these objectives. Goal number 1 is to grow that customer base to 60 by the end of January 2018. Right now, I think we're at the 20 to 25 range, and I don't think that's going to cut it for very long. So we need to increase that customer base. That's the number 1 goal. We need to get about 60 is what we came up with for the number facials. That way you have the capital to take some of these actions and grow that business. Getting into the plan, like I said, number 1 is marketing. We got to start with the marketing. We got to get the marketing under control and implement that marketing before we can do some of these other items. With marketing, we've got add-on promotions. We've got the introductory offer and implementing the rewards program that I know we talked about earlier. And also, I would like to see weekly marketing reviews. And what that is every week, sit down and just take a look at things. What's the status of the business? What do I want to do with this marketing plan? We don't just want to create those flyers, send them out there and just, okay, we're good, and let it be. So, and that's all outlined in the strategic plan. All of the different areas of emphasis are outlined in the strategic plan and actionable. We talked briefly about the technology as well, so that's under goal number 1. Once we get the marketing available, let's get it out to the people. Let's push that marketing out there. Let's create that website, and we're talking about the basic website with the main page, about us, the services, make sure that that's accessible. When somebody says, hey, I'm looking for services, and I go to Google, we want Rejuvenate to pop up. We talked about the marketing email list, that's in here as well. The Facebook campaign strategy, I think that's a big one. I want to see, what I'm looking for is 500 followers by September of 2018, so that's a year to gain 500 followers. If you're active and intentional about that, and you get good quality referrals and get good quality followers on Facebook, that's going to grow your business. I have some experience with this, and I know if you just run, hey, I'm giving away a facial, invite all of your friends, you'll get a lot of followers, but they won't be good quality followers. And with the Facebook algorithms, you need those quality, active followers. And the last item in goal number 1 is community partnerships. So what we're looking for here is 3 potential contacts a week. I'd like to see this as just an extra way to grow some business. While you don't have, say, the 60 to 100 customers, I should say, here in Seward, I'd like to see you start contacting these businesses, the long-term care facilities or complementary service providers. See if you can do some partnerships. Take that show on the road a day a week like you do in North Platte. Maybe you can do that with some other businesses around and give that spark to that customer base and really start to get to that 60 customers where you actually have the capital to have some flexibility. Now, goal number 2 is expanded offerings. And with the expanded offerings, it's running at the same time goal number 1 is, but it's different. The number 1 thing here is adding that retail line. We want to add that retail line because that's just money that we're losing walking out the door. When I have a customer come in and they get a facial, if they walk out without retail, that's just money lost. So we talked about obtaining that loan. We talked about, one recommendation we're going to make is consulting an accountant. Right away, we need to create that business financial tracking plan, and would like to see that plan in place. So definitely right away, get in touch with an accountant. It's all spelled out in the strategic plan. After that, we talked about adding a shopping cart. So you can expand your online business and add that shopping cart. and start doing some retail sales online as well. Automatic appointment booking, there's online seller on Amazon. We talked about your own branded retail line. So that's something that we put into the goal number 2 of expanded offerings, and the Patreon as well, that was spoke about earlier through technology. Goal 3, now this is where we want to go from I'm getting by to I'm thriving. This is growing that customer base to 100 people. And what we're looking for here is making sure that if I go out there online, that my business is represented. If I go to those online business databases, that hey, your information is there. And I know as a Department of Labor employee and formerly on the employer team, I was surprised how many businesses did not have their information out there for people to access. Expanding to Pinterest and YouTube, I put that in here in goal number 3. That's going to drive more business towards your website and ultimately your business. And a big one in goal number 3 is now we need to start outsourcing the busy work. Things that don't create income for you, or things that you aren't interested in doing. So maybe the shipping or the manufacturing of product. If there's something that you can hire out and create income that way, I highly recommend exploring that as well. And then the last thing with goal 3 is pop-up shops. That's one. Pop-up shops. We've got both in-home or vendor fairs or corporate events. So taking your show out on the road and seeing if you can't attract some customers that way. If you can go to an event and attract 1 or 2 loyal customers, then that makes that event a very successful event. Now, the midterm goal is the 3-year plan, and here we want to start adding additional streams of income. This is income where I don't have to do one-on-one with a customer, create that one-on-one service, take my time to help that customer. But other streams of income where income can come in while I'm not actually helping customers. And what we threw out there for the mid-range goals is offering some certifications or continuing education courses, online courses, teaching locally. I know these are things that you've done before with the teaching, and I know it's things that you expressed, and maybe it's something you didn't want to do, but I did feel it was important to put it out there because it is an option. Again, this is a living, breathing document. You can certainly add what you would like, take out what you would like, and definitely review this document at least quarterly. So, and then consulting services as well. I've seen your passion, I've seen your expertise in skincare personally, and I would love to see you offer that service as well. That's one other service that you can offer. The 5-year plan. The 5-year plan is the long-range plan, and this offers you a chance, if you so choose, to scale back. Not necessarily do I have to be keeping 100 customers coming through every single month, but this offers you some other options. And again, if you would like to do them, that's fine. If it's something you just want to discard and go on to something else, that's fine too. But number 1 was offer the full spa experience. And that's either subletting spaces or hiring employees. And there are also speaking engagements we talked about. And then the 2 final parts of the 5-year long-range plan, I put them in red, because these are things that we need to start addressing right away, but they are for your future. And number 1 is opening an IRA, putting in a portion of what you make every month, set aside into an individual retirement account for your future. And then number 2, which ties in with that, is consult a financial planner, and our recommendation is to consult somebody that does not work on commission, but find somebody that you would pay for their services and get some great advice. Dave Ramsey online has local providers list that you can go online, and I've used that service as well. It's a great service, and he only promotes people that teach. They don't just push products, but they teach. So that would be a great resource if you're not sure who to talk to. With that financial planner, would like to see a financial review done at least annually, and then create that retirement plan for you. Sit down with him and come up with a financial plan for you and your business. So, like I said before, this is a living, breathing document. It's not set in stone. It's not here, do this. It is something that needs to be reassessed. You can edit it, you can adjust as you see fit. So with that, I'd like to say I've seen your passion for this product. I've seen your work firsthand. I know that's something that's going to set you aside from a lot of other businesses. And you are able to promote that, sell that to your tribe. And with that, EJ, best of luck.